And hello, Hornet family. I hope all is well back there in Labadyville. My name is Morrell Carter Jr., but a lot of people may know me as MJ. Now, my home address may say Napoleonville, Louisiana, but it was at Labadyville that I found a lot of academic success. Because, hey, at the end of the day, LMS is the best. I was an LMS Hornet for the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade years of my life, and I graduated with the 8th grade class of 2000, aka the Millennium class. As a matter of fact, I still got my 2000 yearbook right here. Lots of great memories within here. Speaking of great memories, man, some of my best teenage years came when I was a teenager during those LMS years. Of course, I remember all the dances, I remember the sports activities, I remember the clubs, all that was great. As a matter of fact, in 1999, we won a parish football championship, one of the best memories of my life. Now, of course, I mentioned clubs. I was a part of Beta, I was a part of 4-H, and I also was involved with student council. And hey, at the end of the day, those were some of the best things that allowed me to become the person that I am. Some of my favorite teachers from back in the day included Miss Kim Lewis, Miss Candy Kramer, Coach Carl Franklin, Mr. Maurice George, the late great Lonnie Fortner III, Miss Ethel Carson, and I cannot forget about two of my all-time favorites, Miss Rosalind Jennings and Coach Felicia Moore. Now, after I left Labadyville Middle, I went on to Assumption High School, did a lot of great things, and then I made my way to college. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today as we celebrate Black History Month. And as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about two of my favorite things, basically of all time, and that is the university I got my undergraduate degree from, Southern University, and historically black colleges and universities. Now, I was able to attain a Bachelor of Arts degree in Mass Communication with a focus in broadcast journalism from Southern University in the spring of 2009. Now, one of the main reasons I chose Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana was because of the tradition and also the opportunities that Southern could provide an individual like me to succeed in future endeavors. Now, of course, I was able to go to Southern University in the fall. Actually, I went there in the summer of 2006 after transferring over there. I also had an opportunity to play football under Coach Pete Richardson. As a matter of fact, you may see this jersey right behind me. This is my 2008 Bayou Classic jersey. I played for the Jaguars from 2006 to 2008 and enjoyed all those times, but I'll get into that in just a moment. A few good things to tell you about Southern University. First of all, Southern University's system is the only HBCU system of schools in the entire United States. That's right, all 5 of Southern University schools are under one system and they own everything. And what I mean by own everything, that means they call the shots when it comes to academics, finances, and anything else that has anything to do with making Southern University successful. Of course, you have Southern University in Baton Rouge. There's also Southern University in New Orleans. There's a Southern University in Shreveport, and there's also the Southern University Ag Center, and finally, there's the Southern University Law Center. It's really, really cool to know that you have a university that basically has its own people who call their shots. And there's a lot of wonderful people who have graduated from Southern University and have become great Jaguars in everyday life. But I was really, really good at sports. I was also really good at speaking in front of large crowds and speaking fluently to many without getting nervous at all. So eventually I was basically told by a counselor that I should look into trying to be a sports anchor or a news anchor. That eventually led me to doing a job shadow at HTV over in Houma. And it got even better. I was working at Walmart in Thibodaux. And one night, James Verrett, who at the time was the sports reporter for WAFB Channel 9, came into the store with Coach Robert Valdez. A lot of people may know Coach Valdez now because he's the head coach at St. James. Well, at the time, he was an assistant coach at Thibodaux. Those guys are really, really good friends. They happened to come through my line, and I just happened to point out, like, that's James Verrett. And he was like, yeah, man, I am James. And we got to talking a little bit, and James gave me a card, and he said, email me. Now, also keep this in mind. This is the early 2000s, so email was not actually something that you did often like you do today. But we did email each other back and forth. He gave me some insight on certain things. He told me a lot about Southern University's mass communications department, and I definitely kept that in the back of my mind. Well, a few years later, after I left my first college, I actually ended up transferring to Southern University to further my academic career and also my athletic career, because I was also playing football. Matter of fact, one of my famous best friends, Cleveland White, was one of the people that actually introduced me to Coach Pete Richardson. And Coach Pete Richardson basically told me up front, hey, you're going to be great athletically, but we need you to be good academically. So what about Southern University's academics? Well, Southern University has some of the best academic programs by far. I'll also tell you this, they're considered the best because of the competition level between the professors and the students to make you better each and every day. Some of the famous schools that they have include the School of Nursing, which is not only one of the best nursing schools in the southeastern part of the United States, but actually in the entire United States itself. Each and every year, they are ranked literally in the top 10 percentile when it comes to success rate and also when it comes to putting individuals in the workforce and doing great things. Another great school that Southern University has is the School of Engineering. No matter if it's biochemical engineering or it's mechanical engineering, I'll just say this, I have a few former classmates, including a good friend of mine who works here in the city of Huntsville with me. He works for NASA, and guess what? He was an engineering major, graduated with honors, and now he's making a lot of money and having a whole lot of fun working at NASA here in the city of Huntsville. Another one to talk about is the School of Business. As a matter of fact, my wife, the former Lakeisha Adams, has not one but 2 degrees from out of the School of Business. The School of Business definitely finds its way to put individuals in the workforce as well and prepare them for what they'll actually see in the workforce. And that's when it comes down to me now. Department of Mass Communications, that I kind of mentioned earlier, they made sure that I was going to be a polished on-air talent in whatever job it was going to be, whether it was going to be radio, television, PR, what it was going to be. They made sure that I was going to be the all-around person. Nowadays, especially in the media industry in which I work, basically you got to know how to do everything. Like for instance, for me, I can be right here on the television screen in front of the camera. But I can also turn around and know how to do things behind the camera. I know how to edit my video. I know how to check the sound quality, set my lights. I know how to do all that. Back in the day, you had 5 different people who were doing all those things, and now one person can do it, and I can give a whole lot of credit to Southern University for making it happen and showing you why it's important to be a one-man band with that. Now, when it comes to extracurricular activities, I remain very, very active on the collegiate level. Of course, I talked about it earlier. I was a member of the Jaguars football team from 2006 to 2008 under Coach Pete Richardson. Those were some of the best memories that I had overall, primarily because I had been a student athlete for so long, from middle school to high school and to college. So I always knew that you always had to balance the academics, make sure I'm going to class, make sure I'm passing my classes, make sure I'm passing my tests, make sure I'm passing my labs, and also just having good study qualities while then turning around and hitting the weight room and then getting on the football field and actually doing well to help the Jaguar football team be successful. Now, my experience as a young adult at an HBCU like Southern University in Baton Rouge was second to none. I can go on and on and on about all the great things that the university has and provided to me through the years, but we don't have enough time for all that. I'll just tell you this, each and every morning after I woke up and I was getting ready to either go get breakfast or go do my workouts with my team, I just drop to my knees and just thank the Lord for the opportunity that had bestowed upon me, primarily because Southern University is filled with so much rich tradition, and there were so many people in front of me who have come before me to literally lay the foundation for what makes Southern University such a great institution of higher learning. And I was glad to be a part of that. Now, of course, I had lots of relatives who went to Southern University and graduated. They came back, they told us our great stories. So for me to have my opportunity to come back and tell people like my sister and my cousins some of them who turned around and went to Southern University and graduated as well. Just felt so wonderful and so great. Lots of great memories at Southern University. Some of my favorite memories included some of the great people we had that came speak to our student body. In 2009, we had Spike Lee come and speak to us inside the F.G. Clark Center, which is also known as the Mini Dome. It was a packed house that night to listen to Spike Lee. Of course, Spike Lee, he is a graduate of an HBCU. As a matter of fact, he graduated from Morehouse in Atlanta. He talked about how his experiences at Morehouse shaped him and made him the man that he is today. Another favorite memory of mine came in the fall of 2008. Each and every year, BET does a Black College tour in which they basically bring personalities, and they also bring some individuals from their channel over to the schools to talk about the BET experience, talk about the HBCU experience, and then they look for some people to be a part of their commercials. I'll never forget trying out to be a VJ for the BET Black College Tour in 2008, and I was able to actually win that. So because of that, I actually was able to have a national commercial that talked about BET coming to Southern University. I told them where I was from, and I showed the world how great the university was and how much fun we were having. As a matter of fact, you're taking a look at some of the clips that were played during that time. It was a very, very fun and enjoyable experience. And then I'll never forget all the people back at home calling me and like, man, I just saw you on TV, man, I just saw you on TV. And nowadays, people are just used to seeing me on TV just in general, and that's definitely where it all started. Had a lot of concerts too, homecoming concerts, Springfest concerts. We had just so many people that'll come and just perform. I mean, we had LaToya Luckett, we had Crime Mob, Juvenile, 112, Plies, Chrisette Michelle, Young Jeezy, Ryan Leslie, DJ Unk, Lil Scrappy, Lil Wayne. Like all the years that I was there, all those people performed at either our homecoming or at other concerts that we had. And of course, from an academic side, having an opportunity to literally make the dean's list basically every single semester I was there, that was a great memory for me too, especially when I got a chance to be a part of the academic programs over there. You get a certificate saying, hey, you're on the dean's list. So look, those certificates y'all get right now for being on the principal's list and superintendent's list and honor roll, hey, you get those things in college too. So it never gets old, everyone. I've got a folder with all my stuff in it, and it was just great to be a part of that experience. When it comes to giving the LMS Hornets some advice about the future, just think about this. If you decide to go to a historically Black college or university like Southern, just know that you'll be able to set your own path. You'll be able to create your own footprints, and you'll also be able to have an enjoyable experience at an HBCU. Now, if you decide to go elsewhere or whatever, just know this. There's over 100 plus historically Black colleges and universities across the United States. So what I would do is I would encourage you to Google a list of all of them. Of course, I know Coach Moore has set this project up to where you've been able to learn about a lot of different ones. Well, use that to your full advantage. Everyone is unique in their own special way. Every college that is an HBCU, they've got their own unique story as far as how they're created and what are some of their academic goals for today. I've got a chance to actually, visit many HBCUs with my line of work, and when I say that everyone is unique, everyone is truly unique. So I would say if you're interested, make sure that you go ahead and you Google whatever. It's never too early to start looking at it, because next thing you know, if you're in 8th grade, in a few years you're gonna be in 10th and 11th, and then you're gonna be applying for college. So it's never too early to get this information. Also, I will tell you this, study hard, study hard. Do not take your studying for granted. Study hard. Great study habits will carry you into high school, and great study habits will carry you into college. I guarantee you, if I would have not created great study habits for myself back in the day, I wouldn't be where I am today, because at the end of the day, look, it's not an easy path. It's really not. College is gonna be tough. You've got to balance a whole lot of things, especially if you got a job too. So just keep that in mind. But Basically, lay your foundation right now, guys and girls. Lay your foundation right now. Keep your great study habits or whatever. Continue to be actively involved, no matter if you're actively involved in church or academically or with athletics. Like, be actively involved, because if you're actively involved, then that's gonna show you that in the future, you're able to balance a whole lot of things. All right, everyone. Well, look, I've had an excellent time talking to my middle school alma mater about my college alma mater. Yes, we went from Labadeville to Southern on this one, everybody. Now, I had a really, really great time talking to you about that. I hope you were able to pick up a lot of things, or you may have learned something that you did not know about Southern University or about historically black colleges and universities. They are very, very unique, and at the end of the day, they are great places to grab your education. No matter if you do undergrad or if you do post-grad and get masters, or even decide to get a PhD. I'll tell you this, I enjoyed all my years, being a student, being a student athlete, and just being a wonderful leader on campus during the time. And when I get a chance to go back, I always make sure I go and show my appreciation to the individuals who helped make me the person that I am. So yeah, big shout out to all those people on the yard at Southern University for doing what they did to help me out each and every day in every single way. But yeah, guys, I just want to thank y'all for just taking some time out to listen to me talk about my great university, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of your Black History program and experience. Big shout out to Coach Felicia Moore for reaching out to me and allowing me to talk to the Hornets about possibly being some Jaguars. She knows all about those Jaguars. She's got some Jaguars in her family as well. Well, guys, hey, thank y'all so much. Hope you guys have been enjoying all of these videos from people who attended historically black colleges and universities. Of course, there are so many other great things. Just remember, Google is your friend. I want you guys to have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and never forget, LMS is the best. Go Hornets!